cello experiment continues. So this is actually a video. Let me get this slide straightened out here. In fact, let me come a little closer to this camera and hopefully adjust this. All right, hopefully this is a little bit better. So this is a video about a subject that's sort of like a pet peeve of mine, which is the correlation between the price of an instrument and the tone of the instrument. Put another way, do you get a better instrument based upon the fact that you paid X amount for it, or you paid a higher price, say you spent $5,000 for an instrument, which is probably more a guitar because that's a beginning cello, and versus $500, and what do you get when you pay such an exorbitant amount of money? So I started thinking about this because I was reading an article where I guess the parents of a budding cello student wanted to pay or wants to pay $50,000 to purchase a cello for their child who's learning the cello. Supposedly the child is not a prodigy, so you're not talking about the next Pablo Casals or the next Yo-Yo Ma. Just a child that's probably very wealthy for a $50,000 cello. I don't care what level you are. And it's got me thinking about guitars, since I only own one cello because they're so damn expensive, but I own a lot of guitars and they're all over the map. So what do you get when you pay more money for a guitar? What actually goes into it and what determines the price? And are you actually getting a better instrument based upon the price? I mean, the intuitive answer would be you are getting more the more you pay. But like anything else, there is what I call the law, not I, economics or economists call it the law of diminishing return. There has to be a sweet spot of value and price for any instrument. On the guitar, for me, I'd say right now it's probably $500, $300 to $500. You could probably get a lot of guitar for that if you understand what you're getting. So, but let's just talk, I guess, in general terms about what you're getting for and the whole correlation. So there is this notion that if you pay a lot of money, you're getting a beautiful instrument, you're getting a much more superior instrument. The reality of it is that that usually works out fine, but instruments are made by human beings, and there are a lot of instruments, whether it be, just go on YouTube and do a search. I might find, and I'll link it here, of cellos. There is, I think, a Juilliard educated cellist who's playing a $5,000 cello, and I believe a $180,000 cello, and some Stradivarius or something that's like $2-3 million. And I kid you not, I think I have good ears. If you close your eyes and you listen to it, there's absolutely no way that the $5,000 Eastman J. Hyde cello is $5,000 or several million dollars worse than the $2 million cello or the $180,000. So what are you getting when you pay that kind of money? You are usually getting a better instrument. These are all wood instruments, and so you're getting better wood. The correlation in terms of, is it going to really have better sound or tone? Yes, over time. But I maintain personally that better instruments sound better with better players. Meaning that I drive a car. I don't know what you guys drive, but I don't have a fancy a Mercedes or Ferrari or any of those high-end cars. Cars are just not my thing. I love guitars. And I'm not a race car driver, and I maintain that for me, it's just an instrument that's it's useful, right? In the hands of a race car driver, a race car is very useful, but in the hands of an average driver, it's useless. That's the same way it works with instruments. In the hands of a master, if I gave a well-trained classical guitarist a very, very high and I don't know, Stephen Connor guitar or high-end Rodriguez, a Fleta guitar, they would make beautiful music. That's not my genre. I can play a couple of classical pieces. I could schlep through it, and you're not gonna know that instrument is that good of a quality. It's only in the hands of a master that superior instruments sound that good. Having said that, that doesn't mean that as a novice or as an intermediate person, player, you shouldn't get a good instrument. My rule of thumb is to always get the best possible instrument you can get within your budget, period. Okay? And get it set up. That's the key things. There are some, believe it or not, very, very high end instruments. We all know the makers, so I'm not here to bash any makers, whether it be, I'm going to name some names, whether it be the Gibsons of the world, the Martins, the Taylors, even the Eastman, Bourgeois, all of that stuff. You could buy all over the map. My number one rule of thumb is to get the instruments set up. We are going into the winter season right now. What's going to be, contracting. It's going to be, you need to keep it humidified. You're going to have frets. You're going to have a lot of damaged stuff. Take care of your instrument. Your instrument's going to start sounding squeaky. It's going to just start sounding, especially acoustic instruments, but even electric instruments. That's why I love Tellys. Tellys don't suffer the same problems that arch tops and other instruments do. But the bottom line is take care of the instrument, and it'll come back. It'll reward you by sounding really well. So anyway, let's get back at on the issue at hand, which is the correlation between the actual price and the quality of the instrument and the tone that it produces. Typically speaking, the more money you pay for an instrument, the better an instrument's going to sound if it's properly set up. That's the first rule of thumb. Now, with a properly well-sounding instrument, you are going to want to practice more. It is the practicing and the practicing and the practicing of the instrument that's going to improve your playing. Okay? So that's the value of it. A good instrument that you pay decent money will yield years and years and years and years of benefit. The other thing, too, is that when you buy an instrument, it's more so with this, because this is not cheap. A cheap cello is like a $5,000 cello. That is not cheap, okay? View it as an investment. Don't view it as a cost, but an investment. Cellos, violins, and other string instruments have a tendency, if you're buying it at the right price point, they're going to maintain their value, and they're going to possibly increase in value. So it is an investment, not a cost. And if you view it that way, you'll always end up on the winning side. So anyway, long-winded way of saying that, yes, there is a correlation between the cost of an instrument and the quality, but yes, there is diminishing return. And the key thing is you're playing and you're practicing, and hopefully when you invest, not buy, but when you invest in a quality instrument, that's going to make you play more and you're going to become a better musician. Thank you for watching and have a great day.